Welcome to Special Report. This is a special Sunday edition. The only reason why I'm making this one is because I feel if it's important to cherish people and respect human dignity, it should be important at all three phases of life. So, without further ado, let's just get it started.
New York's leaders are pushing an extreme pro-abortion bill that will strip away all protections for unborn babies and some for mothers too. Advertisement ad row to the Reproductive Health
Did you
Act.
get that? All unborn babies. No protection. You're no longer human beings. They just dehumanize humans. Once again, when they can dehumanize you, then you can die legally.
Redefines a person as a human being who has been born and is alive. According to Breitbart, the state bill also describes abortion as a fundamental right. This language will allow unborn babies to be aborted for basically any reason up to birth in New York.
See, it's so funny. Abortions and things of this nature are fundamental rights. Yet, being a person, I would say a moral conviction. It is sad that we have come to such a point in our collective evolution in society that we're actually talking about these issues instead of real. This is common sense. Come on. If we had true freedom, all right. If everything wasn't so monetized, if you didn't have money. Put it this way. We know that money's made artificially through the Federal Reserve. If we came up with a system saying the more babies you have, the more money they would issue to you, watch how abortions will go out the window. People will be having babies left and right because it would be profitable. So because of the economic gain, it has nothing to do with the climate or anything of that nature.
It looks like it will pass in the new Democrat-controlled state legislature this winter. Governor Andrew Cuomo has threatened to hold up the budget until it does. The legislation goes
Now,
beyond.
do you see, guys? This is what I've been talking about forever. Democrats are the party of death. I'm just sorry. That's what it is. But they did so much good. Look how many. If you want to talk about Black Lives Matter, or if you want to talk about White Lives Matter, or you want to talk about poor lives are matter, if you want to talk about any of your craziness, then it begins at the root. It begins at the seed. It begins at conception. It begins at life. See, the problem I have with the United States, I love the concept of it. I love having freedom. I love the concept of rights to bear arms, the concept of freedom of religion, the concepts of so many different aspects to this thing. Just really hating the way it was implemented. That's the problem. And that's where the elites, basically, or the globalists, got us over a barrel. Because they know there's so many intelligent people out here. If you can put in their minds that they can somehow, some way be a part of the elite's ultimate plan, then they will sell out the rest of us and go on and become, big time movers and shakers. But at the end of the day, when death is the underlying causation of it all, when the death is achieved, and it will be, this is the point I want to get you all to see, it will be successful. That's why I'm saying you need to prepare now. Prepare right now, today. But I fear that this is really going to fall on deaf ears. Let's continue.
On Roe v. Wade, allowing abortions even when the Supreme Court has said states may regulate them, according to the pro-life leaders. Late-term abortions, which currently are illegal in New York, would be allowed, and non-doctors would be allowed to perform them. The bill appears to restrict late-term abortions, but it adds a broad health exception for abortions after 24.
Now, how can abortion be considered a medical procedure and you don't have to have a license to practice medicine to do that? I mean, I guess one could argue, well, putting a Band-Aid on is a medical procedure, but it's a little more in-depth than like this image right here where you have to take these force snips up inside and grab whatever and pull out. I mean, that's a little different than a Band-Aid, but let's continue.
For weeks. The exception would allow women to abort unborn babies up to 9 months of pregnancy for age, economic, social and emotional factors, rather than the biological definition of health that normally comes to mind, according to New York RTL. The legislation poses serious dangers to women's lives and rights as well. By removing protections from illegal abortions, the bill would open the door for abuses.
I'm sorry, guys, but I gotta tickle the belly button. No, I'm just playing. I had to bring a little comment to this because this is really quite actually sad. Once again, that we have to talk about this issue and not talk about things that could truly affect. I mean, if you believe in referendum initiated by the citizen, then at the base, these are future citizens we're talking about. If we cannot protect the future citizens, then the present citizens are doomed, because the future citizens are the potential salvation for the whole society. I just want this to be this is something to think about, guys. However you are on this issue, the world is marching towards one government. You are not going to stop it, unfortunately. And I would surmise that this one government, and no one would tell you this, it's going to be China. They are the kings of the East, and they will have basically powers over all tongues and nations. I mean, I know you don't want to believe it. I know, oh no, hell no. But America is imploding right now. New York basically dehumanized babies, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. I don't call fetuses, they're just babies on their way to becoming children who will become adults. That's all it is. But this has been a special report. Hopefully this has given you some food for thought. And as always, live your life with integrity, without hate, envy, or greed. And let's try to be kinder to each other. And today's date, January 20th, 2019, the year of our Lord. Peace.
Is pro-choice
Welcome
on
to Special
abortion.
Report. This is a special
The
segment.
Marist poll follows on the heels of a May 2018 Gallup poll, which found that 53% of Americans oppose all or most abortions.